Dear students, welcome to today's lecture. In today's lecture, we are going to deal with the topic digital signatures, which is the last topic in distributed systems. In what way the digital signatures are helpful in authentication and message integrity means, we know that in asymmetric crypto system, the secret key of a user is only known to the user itself, right? And no one else knows that secret key. We know that asymmetric crypto systems, the secret key is known only to the user and no other will know that secret key. So, the sender of the message can use his secret key for signing the message. So, by encrypting it with the key, the sender can only seal that and he can sign the letter. Why? Because, or any message. Why? Because he is only having the own signature and with the secret key he will do that. So, the sealed message can be sent to anyone with the corresponding public key. So, using digital signatures, it assures the receiver of the message not only the message content has not been manipulated, but also the message was indeed sent by the actual sender only. Okay. Try to understand. Here there are 2 points only. In asymmetric, you know that the secret key is only known to user itself. As he only know that secret key, the user can generate or with the message he can sign that particular message using his secret key. He can uniquely seal that message with his own signature via encrypting, and he can send it to anyone. In such a case, it assures the receiver that the message has not been manipulated, means it is as it is when the sender has sent that message, and it also guarantees the receiver that it was from the actual sender only who claimed to be. Okay, next. So digital signatures are helpful and they are applicable to both authentication process and message integrity. Here digital signature is authenticating the actual sender or claimed sender, and it also guarantees the message integrity, that it is uniquely the sender only sealed that message with his own signature. Okay, this is the digital signature use. Okay, and coming to the digital signature, so it is a basically a code or a large number. So it will be generated, code will be generated via using different hash functions, and or it can be any large number. So it is a unique message for every time, and for each message it will create a unique number. Okay, it is unique for each message, and to each message originator means when any user is generating or originating that digital signature, it will give you the unique code. So by observing this code, the receiver can identify that the message is been manipulated or not, like that. So it is obtained by first processing the message with a hash function. So this one is one of the encryption scheme where we can get the digest function, and in that certain big okay, certain code is generated, and it depends upon the bit information. So uh, then he encrypts the digest by using the originator's secret key. That becomes the digital signature. Using the hash function, he will generate a small digest, and it depends on the bit of information in the message. Means it always changes with the content of the message, and he encrypts the digest by using his secret key. So Rivest proposed a message digest function for use in secure mail. This is MD5, not WD5, sorry, MD5, message digest. So for use in secure mail and internet applications. So in 1992, he proposed this message digest function. For what? For using secure electronic mail and other any to use in any other internet applications. So when we use a digital signature as a protocol for ensuring the message integrity, you know that message integrity is nothing but if any message is having message integrity, means that message guarantees that the content of the message were not changed during its transfer. Okay, in during the transfer from sender to receiver, the message has not been changed. That guarantee will be given by message integrity. Okay, so it ensures the digital signature will ensure message integrity, and it works as follows. These are the steps when we used this protocol. So a sender computes the digest function D of a message. In the previous one we have seen, no, using hash function we will generate a small digest, that is this one. Sender A computes the digest D of a message. It then encrypts the digest D by using SA. So whatever the obtained ciphertext C is equal to encrypted form of message digest comma key applied is secret key of the sender. So this one will become a signed message, and it is then created, which consists of the sender's identifier IDA, the ciphertext C1, and with the plain text form message M. So this will be sent to the receiver. So on receiving this signed message, the receiver will decrypt this C1 message by using the public key of the sender, right? Every time a sender will send the message in an encrypted form with the secret key, and the receiver will decrypt that message using the public key of the sender. So after receiving, the receiver will decrypt that message C1, means ciphertext. He receives ciphertext. So C1 will be decrypted by using the public key of the sender. So to recover this digest, so it then calculates the A digest for M. At receiver side, by using the same digest function whichever used by the sender, he will also calculate the digest function, and he compares the calculated digest with the digest which he got from the sender in C1. So decrypting, if the calculated digest function is same as the digest decrypted by C1 is same, then the M is considered to be correct. If both are not correct, it is considered as incorrect. Okay. On the receiving side, the receiver will decrypt the message of C1. What C1 consists of? C1 consists of one digest function. So that digest function receiver also generates by using the same algorithm whichever used by the sender. So he compares the calculated digest by him with the received digest. If both are correct, then only he accepts that message. So this is some small example which illustrates about digital signature. See here digest algorithm, here we have used this SHA-1. It is one algorithm for encryption and decryption process, and link checksum. This one for any corrections or errors we will generate, and signed file hash function and real file hash function. So this is from receiver and sender and receiver. So if both are correct, means it will generate like this in this form. If here in this case both are correct, so he will think that the receiver will think that the message is not manipulated, means it is maintaining message integrity, and even it is digitally authenticated, so he accepts that message. This is the use of digital signature. And one of the advantage or one of the scheme which we used is privacy enhanced mail, which helps or which is designed for adding privacy to internet mail applications. So this is one of the good example of using cryptography and digital signature techniques. Both these two concepts are implemented in this scheme PEM, privacy enhanced mail, and this one will offer confidentiality, authentication and message integrity. Okay, so PEM offers confidentiality, authentication and message integrity. So these are the necessary features to provide sufficient trust, means the sender and the receiver should trust the internet. So the internet population will feel comfortable with these features. Okay, because they will be in transferring of business transactions or any correspondence will be going via internet. In such a case, some sensitive information should be maintained confidential. Confidential means secrecy. It should be maintained confidential. Authentication should be there, and message integrity should be there. So this is PEM is completely implemented at the application level. We will have 7 layers. I hope you have learned that in OSI model, and it is implemented at application level by end systems. So and it will be incorporated, means it will be embedded on a side by side or in the form of user by user basis. Okay, so facilities provided by PEM to provide confidentiality and message integrity we are using. So this is the mechanism which will provide or which will ensure confidentiality. How we will ensure confidentiality by using PEM? How we will ensure message integrity by using PEM? We will see now. So PEM will assume, first of all, it assumes that the network is not trusted, but that each user of PEM trusts his or her own local computer, right? PEM, it assumes network is not a trusted one, means we should not depend on it, we should not believe it, but his own local computer is maintaining secrecy or it can be trusted. So mail users obtain a public secret key pair from a local PEM and they publish their public keys to the mail addresses. Here we are using public keys as our Gmail IDs. The PEM program maintains a database of these secret keys of its local users. So currently RSA algorithm, which is very popular to generate the public or secret key pairs for users. So Rivest-Shamir and Adelman algorithm, which is used for generating the pair of keys. In order to use asymmetric encryption, we want a pair of keys. How we will get that pair of keys means by using different algorithms, we will get that pair of keys. One of such algorithm and most popular one is RSA algorithm. So PEM provides the following types of facility, that is confidentiality, means the information cannot be read by intruder. Any confidential information should not be read by an intruder or attacker. Sensitive information means that passwords or some PIN numbers or any code which has some important information can be considered as sensitive information. And message integrity is sending a signed message so that the receiver can be ensured that the contents of the message was not changed. We have seen this signed message in digital signatures notes. So how it ensures confidentiality? PEM sends a secret message M for ensuring confidentiality. First of all, when we are running the PEM program at sender's computer, it first generates a secret key K and it encrypts a message M by using the key generated. So ciphertext C is equal to, I hope you remember that ciphertext is an unintelligible message which is generated by using the encryption process. So C1 is equal to E of message is M, comma, key is the random secret key that was generated by the user. So currently DES algorithm is used for this purpose, means DES algorithm stands for data encryption standard algorithm. Okay, but others may also use for this purpose, means for generating the ciphertext, and means this one is the algorithm used for encryption and decryption process. And K is then encrypted by using the recipient's public key. Now we can obtain C2 is equal to encrypted form of K comma PR. So using public key of the recipient, we are encrypting the message key which was generated. So now C1 and C2 are sent to the recipient in the form of M1. So what receiver will do? He will receive the message M1 and he fetches the recipient secret key SR from its database and he decrypts the C2 message using SR, his secret key. Why? Because the sender has sent this message using the receiver's public key. Receiver will decrypt that message using his secret key. Okay, this is public key, this is secret key. To obtain K means to fetch this K. Now by using K he decrypts C1. Okay, he got this message K. Now he decrypts that message K. It is encrypted using K, no? So it can be decrypted by using K only. So he decrypts this message and he obtains the message M. It is the original message and it then stores in the recipient's mailbox. This is what will happen in mails or any internet applications. So like this it is ensuring confidentiality, means that message is not known to anyone. Why? Because this message is not known until the key is known. How key is known? With the decryption key, that is SR. If anybody knows this SR, then only they knows the key, then only they can decrypt this message. So here it is assumed that SR is only known to the receiver. Why? Because it is the secret key. Okay. So in this case, as this message is not known to anyone, we can say that it is providing confidentiality. and this one will provide means it is sends a signed message for ensuring message integrity. Here the just the for reverse form of this means here the sender's computer will generate the digest D, and this digest is encrypted by using the sender's secret key. Why he is using the secret key means to ensure uh, the message integrity, that I am only sending and that message is not manipulated. To ensure that message integrity, or to guarantee that message integrity, the sender is using his own secret key and he will generate the signature. So ciphertext C1 is equal to D of secret, D means the message digest, D comma the secret key of this sender. How he will decrypt? He can decrypt with the sender's public key. Okay, C1 is received. You see here, sender's public key is used to decrypt the message and he will obtain the D. After obtaining the digest D which was sent by the sender, the receiver also applies the same digest function to M and compares the result with D. This one we have discussed here. If both are the same, then it will the original message will be accepted and the message is stored in the mailbox. Otherwise it is rejected. If it is incorrect, it is rejected, and with a proper note from the PM's program side, the result of the integrity will be checked. So after confirming if these digests are equal, then only the message is accepted and it is stored in the recipient's mailbox. Like this, a digital signature and cryptography providing confidentiality, message integrity and authentication in a privacy enhanced scheme. So that's all about digital signatures. I hope you all have understood this topic. Thank you.